What is punk? What is punk?
Punk. It's a weird one, isn't it?
What is punk? Well, that's deep. On a superficial level, it's a style of music and a culture that started in the, I would argue, early 70s in America, but was kind of defined and refined in the UK by the Sex Pistols and the Clash.
When I think of punk music, the first thing I think about is the Sex Pistols, and I think about the crazy hair, I think about anarchy, I think about crazy piercings, crazy tattoos.
Punk's originality, I think it's like very original, I think it's very angry. I think punk's very standalone. I think it's like an anti-disestablishment to, everything that's commercial. And it's just a really extreme form of expression.
Punk's all about rebellion, all I know, and it's got a lot of aggression and a lot of energy, especially on stage.
I would say it is just rebelling against the establishment, really. It's not a way of thinking.
I'd say it's the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want.
Oh, it's where you get pizza and ride on a skateboard.
And then fall off and break your arm.
Oh, I'm getting confused. See, I'm not sure what punk is.
I guess if I was to encompass in a band into punk, I guess it'd be something like Iggy Pop or Jesus and the Marriage, or maybe like some original like American hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Just because they all had their jobs and stuff and they sacrificed a lot. I guess that's what punk is, like the idea of doing something that's gonna mess up your life, but you do it because you love it.
Yeah.
So no one really cares about the money, and they just all stick themselves in a car and drive millions of miles and lose loads of money. And I guess punk is a love for something that doesn't give anything back so much, but in the end you have a sense of accomplishment.
Punk is individuals gathering whatever resources they have that are obtainable to them to do whatever to express whatever they feel needs expressing that's relevant to them, with disregard to what's been before them and what is around them, but also with respect to just everyone else involved in whatever that instance of punk is. And one person's punk isn't necessarily relevant to another person's punk.
I guess to me, it's sort of a spirit more than like a genre, because I don't think the genre of punk that people sort of perceive really exists anymore. Or if it does, it's certainly not like in the mainstream.
It's supposed to be anarchistic. It's supposed to be all these things that clearly mainstream punk music isn't. And that's the issue I have with it. That I think the most punk thing now is, as always, the most punk music you can find is the really underground music that exists for its own reasons and on its own terms. So that doesn't necessarily have to be punk music. It can be electronic music, it can be jazz.
People say, what's jazz? Well, jazz is a mindset, isn't it? It's a mentality. You can listen to Flying Lotus, and he's a jazz musician. You can listen to so many, At the Drive-In had elements of jazz in their music. So punk to me has always been kind of the same as that.
There's one amazing bit where this really bored-sounding New York hipster shouts, "You guys suck!" And Jonathan Richman goes, "I don't care," and carries on playing. That's punk rock.
The punk rock spirit exists in music that is made by people that, if they weren't making that music, they'd either be in prison or dead. That to me is what punk's about. It's about a need to express yourself regardless of how society might view it,
I think it is just about having the confidence within yourself to express yourself through music in a way that is not necessarily non-conformist, but certainly doesn't pander to any particular trends or fashions at the time. Just having a sense of a free-spiritedness, I suppose.
I think that punk is thinking for yourself, being an autonomous, free-thinking individual, and kind of looking at the world through that lens.